Hello dear all, we are group number 13. We are presenting our project for political science research methods lesson. Now each member of our group is going to present himself or herself. My name is Alexander Chernodov.
Hello, my name is Özge Akgün.
Hi, my name is Marika.
And my name is Dilara Alpar.
So let us begin our project. So the knowledge is being extracted from interaction with other members of society. We learn how to behave and even how to think from others. However, the knowledge and the skills we acquire from contacts we meet in our real life are not pure. The person or group of people we have borrowed intelligence from leaves the trace of his own thoughts and the view of the world. The political views of every member of society are being influenced by many factors. These include the environment the person lives in, his circle of contacts, and of course his family. In our research, we are going to elaborate on the issue of a relation between family in influence and the political choices person makes. While conducting this research, we are going to interview Turkish young people. It is important to define nationality because Turkey holds different position in the world regarding family relations. Family ties are stronger in Turkey, thus the pressure applied to the political decision-making of young person is denser. The strategy of making political decisions is very important because it affects every branch of our life. Thus it is essential to understand how political decisions are being made. The research of relation between political decisions and the influence of the family would assist us in understanding of the nature of entire political agenda and of political activity. It would make clear whether the decisions were made via intellectual process or they were dictated by the families of the respondents. The entire institute of democracy is based on freedom. People are free to make their own choices, and Milestone substitute the opportunity to decide for his future with the feeling of obligation to follow the rule dictated by senior family members, for example. So the thesis statement of our research is that senior members of family and the environment created in family are influential factors in the process of making of political decisions of young population. So this is our thesis statement. So first let me start with the review of the literature we have chosen for our research. So let me start with Lazarfeld, Berelsen and Gaudet book, which was written in 1948. So in their books, the authors argue that young people mostly vote for the party which their family votes for by generations. So people see voting behavior as a tradition that comes from their family. They support this argument with examples, voters' opinions, and statistical data. So, what Flanagan and Zingale in his book written in 1991 mention. According to these two authors, social groups are divided into three as primary groups, secondary groups, and social classes. Primary groups are composed of individuals who we have direct contact with. These are family, friends, co-workers, the usual social cycle we are surrounded by. So, secondary groups are composed of people we have common interest with, and they are not necessarily in direct interaction, but they have overlapping interests. So the third group is the social classes we belong to. So Boira's article, book written in 2009. So this book brings plenty of researches and about youngsters and their political tendencies, perspectives, and perceptions. But this author particularly proposes that family and social periphery have very crucial impact on political participation of young people both in positive and negative ways. So also we can say that this book embodies the idea that the most trustworthy and valuable structure is still family in the eyes of young people, and if we try to understand them, the first thing we should look at is family. So this book definitely says that young people, they see their families as the example, and they are trying to copy their behavior. So one more book I want to mention is Berelson and Lazarfeld, Lazarfeld's book, which was written in 1954. Authors demonstrate that parents and their children are inclined to unconsciously or not show the same characteristics about political choices. When children become young people, when they grow, they are not tabula rasa due, they have already been affected by their families. So additionally, political stability can be required by tradition, and this tradition involves the impact of family and friends. So the institution of family creates a certain kind of tradition. So, and with respect to this issue, unconsciously or unconsciously, children have to follow the pattern which was created by their families. So one more article I want to mention about is the article of Yeşil Orman, which was written in 2005. So it is stated in the article that the political choice young person makes is closely related to the environment which was established in his family. Moreover, present regime is formed with respect to the habits which are being formed in the families. So the political regime which are living is being based on the regime which was created inside of the families. So now let me say for a few words about the methods which we have used in our research. So, two main concepts of our research the reader should be aware of is the family influence and the political decision making. So, what do we understand by saying family influence? We operationalize family influence by an artificial environment where minor family members are obliged to follow the route drawn by senior family members. With respect to this tendency, the political views held by senior members should be supported by young people without questioning. So, political decision is is the democratic right of every member of society to decide for the support of political forces. The voting is an example of a political decision making and the outcome of which can be influenced by family environment. So in order to define the correlation between family environment and decision-making process of young people, the below aspects must be taken into consideration. The first one, whether the respondent lives with her family or not. The second one, is he or she economically dependent on the family? The third one, what is the source of political knowledge? Does the respondent acquire knowledge by himself or from his family? And the fourth, whether there is a difference of political preferences in the family or not, and etc. So the following questions are to be asked to potential respondents, and their responses would be evaluated. Additional hypotheses we have are as follows. If a young person lives with his family, he is more dependent on them, so his political views are being affected. If a young person is dependent on his family in economic terms, it is more likely that he would copy the political views dictated by senior members of the family. If the person is tended to search for the source of political knowledge, he reduces the probability of being influenced by family environment. So while conducting our research, we would conduct interviews with university students. The age of respondents varies from 80 to 25. The sample would be randomly selected from the population of university students. The access to respondents is provided via personal connections. The interviews are to be done verbally in the university campus. The negative characteristics of the chosen methods can be defined as following. The size of the sample can be small. The impact of interviewer on the respondent can be observed. And the third one, the possibility of giving wrong answers by respondents. So consciously or unconsciously, respondent can hide their real decisions and their real thoughts by giving wrong answers. We have decided to conduct case study in order to test our hypothesis. The tendency of implying of influence by family members to minor family members is being researched. In order to collect data, we have undertaken the following steps. First, we have done the library and internet research. We have found proper books which can be helpful for our research. And second one, we have arranged and conduct several interviews. So here you can see the questions we have asked to the students. The questions were asked in Turkish. Here they are. You can see them on the screen. So now let me enlighten you about the outcomes of our research, what we have reached in our research. For our research, we have interviewed 7 people, and when we asked the question whether those people are dependent on their family economically or not, 3 of them said that they are still dependent. It is interesting that the same people, while answering the first question, which says what is influence of your family on your decision, replied that their families play an influential role in their decision-making process. Taking this into consideration, we can link the condition of economic dependence with the pressure over political tendency. All of the respondents votes more than once. This issue proves that they are politically active. All of the respondents have never changed their political decisions. 3 of 7 respondents stated that they are normally interested in politics. When answering 10th question, what are the criteria you are taking into consideration while you are voting, almost all respondents answered that these criteria are ideology, ability of parties to provide political stability. However, one of the respondents who is economically dependent on his family, which we have understood from his previous answers, answered that the most important criterion is his family. 4 of the people we asked have families who are interested in politics. 3 of those 4 people previously answered that their families have influence on their political decision-making. This shows us that general tendencies created inside of their families are being transferred to them. All of the people we have asked replied that political issues are being negotiated inside of their families. All of the respondents have told that there is no difference in political opinions inside of their families. This indicates that respondents do not have a chance to select between various points of view. To sum up, on the global scale, we see that people who are economically dependent on their families are being affected. This kind of condition created inside of the families is a very important issue for the establishing of political decision-making of young person. People who lived with their families are said that they are dependent on their families in terms of political decision-making. In the case if there were various views presented inside of the families, respondents could have the opportunity to choose among them. However, as we can see, there is no political diversity inside of the families. We can conclude that majority of respondents depended on their families in terms of political decision-making, and the environment created within the families is an essential factor for the young people to substitute their own decisions with those ones invented by their families. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you for your attention.